Hi guys, so I got some really exciting mail last night. I've actually been kind of expecting this because I did request these from the publisher, and it is 2 of the new vintage Russian editions. Unfortunately they came after I had filmed my Russian TBR, otherwise I would have talked about them then, but because I love these vintage series so much, I thought I'd just do a spotlight video on these and kind of talk about the design and talk about like the translations, because I know you guys are always really interested in the translations. I always get comments about who's doing the translation. As always, I will link these down below in the description to Book Depository, which is available worldwide. I also wanted to compare them to the other vintage editions that have been released. So if you look like there on my bookshelf, there are my Austens and my Brontes, because these do differ from them in quite a substantial way. So these are being released in January. They're not out yet, so you can pre-order them now, and I would definitely recommend because these are gorgeous. Oh, they're so pretty. I've kind of like petted them all night, and they're so pretty. But they're being released for the 100th anniversary of the 1917 Russian Revolution. And in this set, it's actually also celebrating the 50 years of I think it's 50 years of publication, but it's a 50th anniversary of Mikhail Bulgakov's The Master and Margarita. So they sent me 2 of these. These are massive. I have Anna Karenina and Life and Fate by Vasily Grossman, and I haven't read any Grossman before, so I'm really excited about that one. So to start with, these are beautifully designed. I believe the designer is Suzanne Dunn, who works in the vintage design studio. And she did an absolutely fantastic job. It's kind of a marriage of different prints. You've got a smaller print up here, the main print, and then another print on the bottom. They do have the French flaps, as all of the other ones do, and that beautiful vintage kind of ex libris mark, and then the inside is just absolutely stunning, as always on these editions. Now these are a lot bigger, and then there's just the back French flap, which shows all 6 of these, and yes, so that is the back. Oh, just absolutely gorgeous books. I love these so much. These are quite a bit. They're substantially larger than all of the other ones in this kind of style that have been released, so that they are a lot larger than the Austens and the Brontes. I can't speak for the Wolves because I don't own any of those yet. So just as a size comparison, this is my copy of Persuasion from the same series, and so you can see quite a bit larger. Now, to be fair, these books are massive. Like, this edition of Anna Karenina is just over 900 pages. I would say with all the extra pages, it's probably running about 1,000 pages. So these are bigger books than, you know, Austen's work, which I love, but this one is only, you know, just under 300 pages. So I feel like because these Russian works that they picked were so huge physically, as well as, you know, within Russian literature, so they had to kind of size up. I do really like the designs on these. They also, as a difference, as I'm looking at these, so on here, along this section, this is just goes straight into the spine, and I think because these are larger, they do have a slight, I probably can't show you guys, but there's a slight like indentation, so when you open it, it will bend there, if that makes sense, if you guys can see that, as opposed to on these ones where it bends directly at the spine. And I think that's probably to help keep the spine intact because they are so much larger. So now to look at the Life and Fate of by Vasily Grossman, which is the one I have read Anna Karenina, and I do love Anna Karenina, and I will talk a bit about the translations after I go through just looking at the physicality of these books, because these are beautiful editions. So once again, it does have 3 different patterns, and just the typesetting on these is just gorgeous. And then the spine is, this pattern is repeated, this one on the bottom, on the top and the bottom, and then this one is carried over for the spine. I know a couple of people have been talking about like wanting to get these for pre-orders and stuff, so I do want to go in detail. And then the back, as always, has a quote on it, and just, oh, these are gorgeous. French flaps again, and then the end papers are just absolutely stunning on these. Oh, I cannot express how much I love how these are put together. Now there is a bit of a difference in paper quality between the Austen and the Brontes. It's a bit thicker, and I would say a bit better paper quality on the Austens and the Brontes. This is a bit thinner. I am wondering if that is because of the size of the text. They maybe went with a bit thinner paper. You can definitely feel a difference in that. As for font size in this, you guys know how important font size is to me because I'm a little bit hard of seeing. It is quite large. Not like so large that you're reading a large print book, but it is very easy to read. The paper is a bit, now I'm just comparing, is a bit whiter than the paper from the Austens. So it depends, the contrast is a little bit more, so it depends on how you prefer reading with that. So now I have my handy dandy cheat sheet that Vintage sent me to talk about the translations. So they have 3 translations by Richard, and I'm possibly going to butcher these names because, as always, I am an Anglo speaker. My pronunciation on Russian is not so great, although apparently I got the Skaya name in my Russian TBR correct, the pronunciation, and I'm so proud of myself for that. I tried so hard, so I will try really hard. Apologies if I mispronounce them. So they do have 3 translations by the award-winning team of Richard Piver and Larissa Volonsky. I feel like I got that wrong. And so the translations for those, they did War and Peace. They also did Crime and Punishment, which I think is the one that they won the award for. And then they also did the translation for Dr. Zagavo by Boris Pasternak, which I haven't read and don't know too much about. So that one is definitely one I'm going to be picking up. And then for the other translations, so Anna Karenina was translated by Louise and Almer Maud. They always choose, generally when you're looking for translated fiction, you're wanting a more modern translation as opposed to a more older translation. They tend to do a better job. Translation standards do change over time, so they have chosen the newest translations. The only ones I know are the Piver and Volonsky. I know that they're award-winning. When I started getting into Russian literature, people were recommending their translations over anybody else's, but I'm sure that the Maud translation is quite good as well. And then Master and Margarita is translated by Mikhail Glenny, and then Life and Fate is translated by Robert Chandler. So that's who translated all the works for this selection, and I'm just, thank you so much, Vintage, for sending these to me. I had to go to Vintage UK because these are not being published in Canada, and they couldn't send me all of them just because, yeah, it's not all, they don't have the rights to publish all of these translations in Canada yet, so I got what was available, and I'm totally over the moon about this, and I'm definitely going to buy the other ones from Book Depository. Now these are, I know I talked about in comparison to the previous editions in this. I'm also going to talk a little bit about size-wise in comparison to regular trade paperbacks. These are still even larger than regular trade paperbacks, so I have one of my Penguin English Libraries North and South here just to do a comparison. Just for, you know, sometimes you don't always want a massive edition. These are quite big and quite, in comparison, like weight-wise, definitely heavy. So if you're looking for a portable edition, these might not be for you. That's one of the things I do love about the Austens and the Brontes, is that they're super portable, they're nice and small, they're very compact, they're very well made, and I think that these are definitely well made and beautiful, but a little bit less portable. And to be fair, these are massive books, like 900 pages, over 900 pages is nothing to sneeze at. Austen definitely wrote a lot shorter works. So yeah, so that is kind of a little introduction and a sneak peek at these beautiful vintage editions. You guys know how much I love Russian literature and love these vintage editions, so I don't know if I can express that enough, enthused to have these in my collection. I knew that they were coming and cleared space on that shelf for them, so they're gonna sit on that side. So yeah, and I'm really looking forward to reading Life and Fate. That's just absolutely amazing. So I will see you guys on Monday. This is going up on Friday with another Vlogmas video, and I'm so glad I got to share these. This is like the best Christmas present ever. I was having kind of a not so great day yesterday, and I decided to trek to the post office and walk the 2 kilometers, and I'm so glad I did because these are just amazing. I'll see you guys later. Bye.